Hello, I'm K.D. Hale, Vice President of the Association of African American Cultural Gardens, and I have the honor of welcoming you, our audience, to our Sankofa Web Series. Our goal is to educate regarding the African American experience through this series. We will be interviewing some of the most interesting, engaging leaders, business leaders, and great entrepreneurs in this great city. These change agents will tell us about their journey, who they are, who inspired them, what they do, and what does African American history and African American cultural gardens mean to them. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page, the Association of African American Cultural Gardens. And go to our website, aacg.org, for most updated information regarding events in our Sankofa series, which can also be viewed on demand.
This is Harry Boomer. The African American Garden is one of 38 gardens in the Cleveland Cultural Garden Federation on Martin Luther King Drive. It celebrates the African American experience. Already completed on the upper level is the Past Pavilion and the Door of No Return. The black granite represents the fearful experience of those taken from Africa in confined quarters on slave ships. Yet to be constructed is a channel for water that cascades down the hill, representing the Middle Passage on the Atlantic Ocean, to a black granite terrace that is etched with the Little Dipper and the North Star, which guided thousands of enslaved people to freedom in the North. The water will continue to flow down the hillside in reference to the Ohio River and the Great Lakes that facilitated the journey for a better life. It also marks the continued struggle of black people to the present. Ending at Martin Luther King Drive, the garden will symbolize the spirit of tremendous resilience of our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents who came from the South to a better, prosperous life in the North. The future platform beside the MLK Boulevard's walking trail will have benches and a water feature that gives homage to our past and hope to our future generations that anything is possible regardless of the challenges.
This is Obie Shelton. Let's finish it. The African American Cultural Garden has a portion already built at the top of the hill. With your help, it will cover the entire hill as a magnificent tribute to those who came before us, as well as a symbol of pride and hope for future generations. We need your donations of money, time, and energy to make it happen. Everybody can contribute something. We can do it. Visit aacg.org, aacg.org, and donate, or click the Contact tab and let us know you want to be a volunteer. Let's finish it. Hi, my name's Obie Shelton, and one of the cool things about the Sankofa series is that we get to talk to people who are making black history right now. A lot of them are people whose names you know. Some of them are people whose names you don't know, but they are still doing it. They are contributing to the culture of the African American legacy in Cleveland. The person we're talking to right now, though, you know her name. She is the Honorable Congresswoman from the 11th District, Congressional District, Ms. Shontel Brown. Thank you for taking time out to talk to us here on the Sankofa series for the African American Cultural Garden. I know that we are in your stomping grounds,
yes.
Warrensville Heights, shooting this, right?
Yes,
right
yes.
I'm curious, it's been like more than a year since you've been elected to Congress. I'm wondering, is it everything you thought it would be? What's different than what you thought it would be?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It is an honor to be with you, a legend in your own right. And so it is a tremendous opportunity to be a part of this program. Congress has been more than I expected, but I will say this, Secretary Fudge, while she was mentoring me when she was a Congresswoman and as I was campaigning and trying to get ready to go to Congress, she really set the expectation. She let me know that there would be days where we would have sometimes 12, 14-hour days, that we might miss family opportunities, that holidays are not your own. And so when it came to those things, I was well prepared. So I want to thank her her for setting the expectation for me, because I didn't really come in surprised by those things. And those are the things that my colleagues expected me to be surprised by. In fact, on my second day, when we were voting on the bipartisan infrastructure bill, I think the vote ended around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. And so many of my colleagues said, "Are you sure this is what you want to do?" And I said, well, they said, because this is not normal. I said, well, it's all I know, so it's normal for me. So it was my second day. I didn't have any other experience. And so that really kind of set the bar. So like a 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock day seems like gravy for me.
Because I'm picturing just like one meeting after another,
yes.
You know, in offices, on the floor,
Yes.
you know, in committees, just constant meetings, just all day.
It is constant. I will say this, one of the surprising things is I'm on agriculture and oversight, the agriculture committee and the oversight committee. And they actually have meetings that run simultaneously, 10 o'clock. Right, that was my reaction when I got there. I'm like, surely there's got to be a better way, and why can't I have a meeting on this day at this time? And so I got on the floor and I was like, you know, I had 2 meetings today at the same time, and my colleagues looked at me like, so do we all. like
Is
that's
it a hand?
Yeah, right. So I was like, oh, so this is not unusual. But I mean, the demand for the work is so intense. You have committee meetings, subcommittee meetings, and then you have CEOs coming in from not only our district, but outside of the district, depending on your committee assignments. So because I'm on agriculture, we get a lot of engagement from folks around farms and dairy products and meats and things that I never really thought about. And then on the oversight committee, that is just like a wide range of issues that come before us. We've had meetings around the Redskins and their sexual harassment. That was where the Facebook hearings were initiated. We've had meetings about gun violence, mental health issues. So it gives you a plethora of topics to learn from, and a lot of people who have served on that committee, like the Honorable Elijah Cummings, who chaired that committee, get a great deal of experience in a multitude of categories. And so I'm very grateful for that ability to be able to be in that position to deal with so many issues that have such an impact on so many people's lives.
The great thing about these series is that we get to look at people who are in your position and get a chance to look at as they're growing up, getting a snapshot of them in Cleveland, right? And I'm wondering if did you grow up in Warrensville?
So I'm an inner city kid. I grew up on Martin Luther King and Union, so the Cultural Gardens, was not too far. Although on the other side of town, we were kind of more southeast, and that's more northeast. But my grandparents, who were were founders of the Glenville Festival, so I got a chance to go through the Cultural Gardens. Yes, Robert and Mattie Jones. They started out as a street party, then they started out as a block party, and then it expanded. And so I got to witness that as a child growing up.
Your grandparents?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So that was fun for me. I didn't see it as, what I have grown to appreciate, the social and also the economic impact that it had, and just the inspiration and the hope that it provided for the Glenville area. And so, I mean, I got to see, Mike White's campaign flourish. I got to see Jeff Johnson's campaign flourish. Many of our, again, great legends, and just witnessing them engaged in the political process. And while doing that, I did not know the seed that was being planted inside of me, and which has come to fruition today.
So it sounds like there were maybe many planters, not one in particular.
Oh, for sure.
Did your parents say? Did they or your grandparents talk about government? Anything like, I'm wondering, when does that click in young Shontel's mind that,
So, a couple things. I was also my class vice president at John Adams, proud rebel. And so that was probably the beginning of politics. But I'll also go back to Whitney Young. When I was an 8th grader at Whitney Young, our student orientation for John Adams, I missed it, but my classmates told me they didn't get a chance to walk around. We had to watch a video of the school just to kind of see. We didn't get a chance to go and really tour the school. And I'm like, that's crazy. We're gonna come into this building. We don't have an opportunity to walk the halls and see where, how the numbers and the rooms are listed. So I took it upon myself to write a letter to the principal to let him know that I thought it was, I thought it would be helpful, more helpful to young students like us coming into the high school to actually have a physical tour rather than watching a video. And that got his attention. The next class after us, they did physical tours of the school. And so I guess that kind of was my start of activism, maybe, if you will, and making sure people had an opportunity to have their concerns heard and elevated to actually getting some real results. But when it came down to politics, as an adult, I was motivated by my neighbors who were all seniors and retirees and who treated me like their very own grandchild. And when the earthquake tragedy struck in Japan, much like what we're seeing with Hurricane Ira, I wanted to know where we would go in the event of a natural disaster. What is the plan for evacuation in an emergency situation? And that led me to my city council meeting. And when I got there, I learned that there was some room for improvement. And so rather than complain, I'm a person that believes in being the change that you want to see. So I decided to roll up my sleeves and pound the pavement, knock doors, and introduce folks to my neighbor. Then I let them know I wanted to be their next city council person. And they said to me, okay, well, what can you do about these tree branches that need to be trimmed, and these sewers that need to be cleaned, and these potholes that need to be filled? And I said, well, let me see. But because I kept going to the meetings, I started cultivating relationships with the administration, and they said, if you need some help, let us know. Well, of course, I took them up on their offer, and I started getting things done before I was even elected. So I was feeling pretty good until election day came, and I was actually down by 6 votes. And so I was down but not out, disappointed but not devastated. I said, okay, I'm actually getting stuff done. I may have lost the race, but I can still do the work, right? I don't need the title. And so folks were telling me who were more experienced, you should run again. But I said, no, I'm pretty good. I actually was going to walk away from politics. But what I didn't realize, there were 23 provisional ballots in the race. And 11 days later, I learned that I had won by 7 votes. Now, you know, like I know, as children of faith, 7 represents perfection, completion, and God. So I often credit this journey of public service to divine intervention, because that has truly been my moral compass, my guiding force, and the foundation in this work that I purposely describe as public service, because I know I work for the people.
There's a lot of advice just in your story, but this is a good place to maybe, if you have any advice for young people who are like you, maybe some young boys, some girls who they see something that they would like to change.
Yes.
What would you say to them?
Don't give up. Do it because you want to do it. A lot of times I've seen people in politics more hungry for power than service, willing to put their own personal agenda above the public and the people that they want to serve. So I think it's important when you get into this space of public service that you recognize that, first of all, your life is no longer your own. People are depending on you to really make changes for their life. So whatever it is, give it your all. Don't give up. Stay focused. I mean, for me, again, once I started seeing results, it wasn't about the title, it wasn't about the pay, it was about, okay, I'm meeting my goals, I'm having some real accomplishments that are having impact beyond my own personal needs, life, and I think that has to be folks' motivation. When you start focusing on the money, the power, the title, then you lose sight on your purpose and your why. And I think you have to have a really solid why, and when you're dealing with these spaces, as opposed to a how and a what as to how you obtain those things.
And you've probably gotten a taste in the first year of how that can drift, right? I mean, because everybody's pulling on you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You agreed to come on and talk with me in the context of the African American Cultural Gardens, which your parents were in the vicinity. You know the history. You know that there's been many decades that we've been trying to get this done.
Yes.
And you've seen some of the renderings of what it's going to be.
Absolutely beautiful.
Can you talk about from your perspective what that will mean to our community?
I think what it will mean is pride, dignity, ownership, a place for reflection, restoration. I think that right now what we have is a great foundation, but the coming together of the community to implement such a beautiful piece of artwork in a place where we can call our own will not only help our community, but I think it will uplift and empower other communities around us, and to also elevate the level of respect that we have for ourselves and the respect that other people have for us. Because when we're able to accomplish this, it is going to be so powerful and so beautiful and so remarkable, which are all of the things we are as a people. Resilient. You know, we take a licking and keep on ticking, right? Obie, you know, we are a people that have suffered a lot, but in spite of the suffering, we've been able to achieve great things in a very short period of time. When you consider our history in America, the things that we've been able to do since giving the little bit of freedoms, because we're still fighting, the struggle still continues. Our space in the garden is like a metaphor for the struggle. You know, we've got a good place right now, but we're not done. And so we've got to get to the end. We've got to get to the fulfillment of making sure that this project is complete so that we can, again, help others see how resilient we are to define our own success.
Now being an official member of the Garden organization, right? I'm just thinking how proud we will be when we can look at that, and we can use those symbols. It's kind of abstracted, but you can tell your story. Everybody can fuse their story into the monument. That'll be great.
100%. I mean, the black granite represents us and strength and durability, and again, just beauty. And then the water being able to flow, just how we've been. I mean, when I think of water, you know, water is an element that just can conform and transform to anything that it's placed in. It can also, you know, bring life. It's just a powerful, it's just going to be a powerful thing for us to be able to take ownership and pride of what that will represent for our community. And I can't wait to see it come to fruition. I mean, I think it is incumbent upon us to make the investment into the project so that we can have our own piece of history, not only for the benefit of our people to enjoy, but truly for the world to enjoy.
Well, thank you so much for taking out time. She has a lot of people that she has to see today. And so we're so honored that she could just spend some time with us and talk about this garden. So remember that you can be part of the African American Cultural Gardens. You can go to our website, look us up on Facebook, and you can support us either with donations of your time, your money. Everybody can do something to get this done. Thank you for joining us and for witnessing this time with Congresswoman Shontel Brown. My name is Obie Shelton. Thanks again.
Thank you, Obie.
Hi, my name is Rachel Hill with the Association of African American Cultural Gardens. The mission of the Association of African American Cultural Garden is to educate regarding the African American experience and to complete the monument for the African American Garden. Our Sankofa series represents our dedication to bring you the history and amazing journey of African Americans in this great city. Our garden represents a journey, starting with the door of no return to the resilience of our ancestors and family to make a difference in this country. The water feature gives hope and joy for future generations, knowing that you can accomplish anything with dedication and hard work. We are on the journey to complete the garden. Our goal is to break ground this year to complete the garden, but we need your help to get to the finish line. Please make your tax-deductible donation by going to AAACG.org or mail your check to P.O. Box 20237, Cleveland, Ohio 44120. Thank you.